Hello, my name is Chloe Folan, and you're most welcome to my next video in the video series, Restoring the Divine Blueprint of Hierarchical Initiation. So this is a video in a video series where I am aiming to put more decent and holistic information out there over what hierarchical initiation actually is, how it precipitates, and how the initiation experience interconnects. Meaning one of my aims with the videos and information that I've released and will be releasing is to right relations push back against the constant oversimplification over what hierarchical initiation actually is. Because oversimplification is one of the reasons for overestimation. Meaning when someone goes through a very small, teeny tiny subplane change, and then mistakes that in totality for a full initiation. So what I'm very happy to speak about today is to start giving sharing some of the feedback I've received. So to be even more clear, this video is in relation to, it's a follow-up from the video I created over restoring the divine blueprint of the first birth initiation. Huge response from that video. I'll put a link to that video below. You'll definitely need to watch that video to get a better insight into what I'm now about to discuss. I've had a lot of amazing, huge feedback. So like that, if you have watched that video and you did want to, if you had something interesting you'd like to share, or something respectful that you'd like to mention, or something of that nature, please feel free. I'm always open to respectful feedback of my videos, and I'm very lucky it is only ever respectful feedback that I receive, but people know what I mean when I'm articulating that. So in relation to the video that are released on restoring the divine blueprint of the first birth initiation, I would first of all like to mention what has absolutely made my day is, with all of the feedback I've received and with all of the comments that I've received, what I am absolutely doing a private victory dance over is everyone is talking to me about initiation from a multi-leveled awareness approach. Meaning everyone their way who watched that video and wanted to send me an email commenting about it, or people who I did ask to give me feedback on that document, and I am still waiting very patiently on feedback from some key people that I wanted a deeper review from on that birth initiation document. Everyone is talking about it from an interconnected, multi-leveled point of view, meaning everyone their way understanding what I was trying to get across when I was saying that even though, yes, the first birth initiation does mainly in a small way orientate, it has its platform, it has its starting point from physical orientated, base chakra orientated life lessons, that has a knock-on effect on the emotional and mental bodies as well. Nobody's disagreeing with me over that. I've had some interesting questions. People have sent me some interesting quotes. But first of all, I would just like to say that much. Alleluia, alleluia, and the heavens have opened. People have heard me their way, where I'm trying to say the first birth initiation is not just about physical challenges or health challenges or diet. What happens to you as a part of, in totality of the first birth initiation, has a knock-on effect that's tangible on emotional and mental levels. Meaning what happens to you physically does have a causation impact on the emotional body. What happens to you emotionally does have a knock-on effect on the mental and physical. So I hope I'm making that clear, that the theme, one of the common themes of all of the feedback I've received, is people hearing that and understanding that, and even going back to the Bailey books in particular, and reading the Bailey books with fresh eyes, and noticing where in the Bailey books it talks about the connection causation points between the physical, emotional and mental bodies as a part of the first birth initiation. And people are now understanding what I'm talking about over oversimplification and the issue with that, and how it misleads and causes overestimation. And people have also found another piece of information phenomenal when I mention when hierarchy restructured initiation, because everybody, well, at least everyone I would be aware of, I mean, most people do realize that as part of the final degeneration of Atlantis, because Atlantis degenerated in stages, it didn't all happen in one go. But as that happened, hierarchy restructured the parameters of hierarchical initiation. And they took a lot of what remained from the old first, put some of the second initiation in there too, and some of the third, and restructured the birth initiation, meaning for everyone, no exception, because we were all created equal. We were all created equal. We're all equal in the eyes of God. So therefore, we're all subject to the same light laws. So everyone's subject to the new parameters of initiation. And there are stages of development within each of the initiations. So people found that interesting to have that highlighted. And a lot of people have been getting back to me, meaning a lot of people are waiting for me to talk more about that, more about what changed with the parameters of evolution, meaning people wanting to know more about what were the old parameters of initiation and more information on the new. Because I don't want people overly focusing on the old, I will be giving out more information on the new parameters of initiation first, but I have marked that in my to-do list, that once, to my satisfaction, I've gotten through discussing the new parameters of initiation and the new parameters of initiation that have been implemented for the last 12,000 years. Once I've discussed that more in more detail, then I'll backtrack and give some more information over what the old parameters were and what happened with the old parameters of initiation. So that alone cleared things up for people, as well as to why there can be confusion when going through the initiatory process. Meaning, if you've come through with a soul memory over some of the old past initiations, and then in the present, if you're not given proper guidance, you're not given a proper initiatory roadmap to follow, or there's something else going on, and then you're enforcing evolution a little bit, it's very easy to, if you're then going through a bit of the old first, to think you are in the now having the totality of the first. Or within the birth initiation, as you're going through the emotionally orientated, the sacral chakra life lessons, very easy to mistakenly think you're going through the totality of the second, because it ignites the soul memory of a part of the second initiation in the past. So karmic memory and imperfect karmic memory can cause confusion with what's happening in the present with initiatory experience, for very understandable reasons. The other reason why I'm releasing documents on restoring a more whole understanding of what the new parameters of initiation are, and what that is, and what that looks like, and its causation. So on that note, where I did want to go with today's video, apart from just highlighting that, meaning I'm so relieved. People are going, well, of course, Chloe. Of course, during the first initiation, something would be happening that would be evolving the emotional body. And of course, then if you're going through the first initiation and that's having a knock-on effect on the emotional body, of course, then there would be evolutionary development happening on the mental. And people are going, oh, of course, then subplane changes, plural, will lead up to the totality of a major initiation. A lot of people going, well, of course. I'm so glad someone said that. I'm so glad someone sat down and gone, look, there are minor initiations that lead up to the major initiations, and the penny is dropping and things are clicking and we've turned a corner. Yay. So I was bracing myself for deeper debates, if that makes any sense. And that's not what happened. I got more of the opposite of a little bit of what I was expecting. I mean, I was bracing myself for healthy debates. I was bracing myself for, you know, people. Do you know what else someone said to me? Sorry, and then I will get into the rod of initiation. I had a lot of questions over the first birth initiation document, over the rod of initiation. Something someone else said to me. I had someone look at my video who would be very new to understanding hierarchical initiation, meaning this person would have been somebody who, in my opinion, would be someone who was starting to find information that I would call wobbly new age misinformation, you know, misappropriated bits and cherry-picked information by wobbly new agers who do as they please and pull out proper bits of stuff and twist it. And anyway, this person had been exposed to some information over initiation, but more spiritual bubblegum information over initiation. And she then sat down and then watched my video and watched it a few times. And then do you know what she said? And God bless her. And this is why I love to hear from people at all levels of awareness, people who are new to understanding hierarchical initiation and people that have been studying it and experiencing it and doing their best to subject themselves to an evolutionary enforcement technique longer than me. I like to hear from all spectrums of understanding, and here's why. From a newbie, from someone who wouldn't know that much yet about hierarchical initiation, after watching my videos, she said, I like Chloe's point of view because it's more inclusive. I like Chloe's point of view because it's more inclusive. And she also said, you know, she can't understand why I feel, or like that from my video. She got the vibe from my video that I was doing my best to be as respectful as I could and be as do my best to voice a decent opinion in a way that wouldn't offend anybody. She picked up on that I was not trying to offend anybody with what I was sharing. And she was basically going, well, why would Chloe have to be careful about that? From her point of view, I'd said nothing offensive. And she also felt that my point of view was more inclusive. And I'll explain that. She said, Chloe not only included what I basically thought the first initiation was about, she expanded on other points of view. Chloe said in her video, she took her point of view from case studies, from the Bailey books, and she wouldn't have known who he was, but the late Michael Robbins initiation compilation videos. So a newbie, someone who would be very new to understanding initiation, said, and saw straight away, another point I've been trying to get across. For those who preach unity, for those who preach inclusiveness, the holistic point of view I'm wisely and knowledgeably sharing over the totality of the first birth initiation is actually more inclusive than the misappropriated nonsense that gets pushed over people trying to claim that the first birth hierarchical initiation is only about diet, only about a physical health challenge, only base chakra orientated life lessons. That point of view is narrow-minded, it's linear, it's oversimplified, and it leaves out everyone else's point of view who would understand that when you're deeply, deeply going through a physical experience, it has a real knock-on transformative effect on your emotions and your state of mind. So again, God bless her, I'm going to take what she said and highlight that, where from her point of view, the point of view I'm sharing is more inclusive. It includes everybody's point of view, and it includes everybody's collective experiences. Meaning she's sitting there going, wow, Chloe's actually put time and effort into cataloging case studies, and she still is. And she's taken this from case studies, meaning she straight away copped onto the fact, I'm cataloging multiple people's experiences as they go through the totality of the first birth initiation. I'm including bits of everybody's collective experiences and putting that together from knowledgeable sources over markers for what the hierarchical initiations are. So, was there some, yes. Now this brings me to the rod of initiation. I'm going to bring up the document in question again, and for people going, because I've had some people go, and I've sent it on to people. So like that, if you are someone who's been patiently waiting for me to publish this on my website, because I will, this extract, I'm going to publish this extract, but with a link to the accompanying video, because I had a few people get back to me and say that along with reading a draft copy of this document, combined with watching the first birth initiation video, it was easier to understand in some ways. So I'm going to publish this document soon with a link to the test video for this document. But if you did want it sooner, you can contact me. I will email you a copy. Just please keep my copyrights on it, because please do remember that this is a research document, essentially speaking. It's a research document. And even though I do believe that this is closer to an accurate documenting of the totality of the first birth initiation, it's still my point of view, and from a point of view of a research document. So it would be unique to the research that I've put out there. So as with any research document, if you want to quote me, please quote me correctly. And like that, please feel free to share the document, but with my copyrights on it, please. Or if you are using my document for supportive quotes, please do reference me, because this is copyright protected, because it is a research document. And was there anything else I wanted to say on that? So yes, if you did want a copy of it, let me know, but I will publish it on my website soon. So some of the other questions that I've received was around the rod of initiation. I had a few people ask me about the application of the rod of initiation, meaning it's stated in the Bailey books, and Michael Robbins brings that up as well, and it would be a known fact that the rod of initiation is applied at the first birth initiation. So the questions about that in terms of why didn't I go into that into more detail and to give more detail on that. Now in the video, when I start talking about stage 2, the minor initiation, I do talk about that in terms of heart chakra activation, that it would be around the middle of stage 2, that some of the rod of initiation is applied around stage 2. And with some of what I was mentioning at the end of stage 3, having the Antakarana bridge fully built to hierarchy. If it's the rainbow bridge techniques you are doing, please keep in mind this research document is mainly based on people doing the rainbow bridge techniques or ray path techniques. So it is important to work with a proper karmic clearing technique. This only applies to people that are working with proper, decently tested karmically clearing techniques to ensure the enforcement of this phenomena. So at the end of stage 3, with building the Antakarana bridge to hierarchy, there would be an application of the rod of initiation again, but I understood the question, meaning people very intelligently were saying, well, with you writing from an inner vision clairvoyant point of view of what you're cataloging, with that being cross-referenced to decent information over auric markers to consider, I understand that people were trying to say, why is there not a deeper description of the rod of initiation? So when you do deepen your understandings, and I'm still and forever and always will be deepening mine, but when you do start deepening your understandings over initiation, again, you'll realize it's not a mechanical, linear experience. Meaning, because of somebody's ray makeup or somebody's karma and therefore the social constructs they're tied into, sometimes the rod of initiation is not applied full force until towards the end of the 3rd initiation. Meaning, in relation to the questions I was receiving, because the bulk of the people, well, I would say I would have about 50% of the people I work with would be people that would have young families, meaning they would have children. They would be deeply involved in their careers. I would then also work with people, and it always humbles me, that have been working in esoterics and occultism far longer than me, who are older than me in terms of physical age, who've been working. So in other words, with the wide spectrum of people I work with, a lot of people I do work with are still at that point, the majority of them, where they have young families, or they're still raising children, or they're still tied into deep work and social constructs that are a part of their karma. So when you're looking at it from that point of view, and your understanding of that ray makeup and your karmic narrative also plays into the rod of initiation and how it's applied. Meaning, even the rod of initiation does get applied in stages, at least with the bulk of the people I would be documenting case studies for. Meaning the rod of initiation being applied in graded stages to when it then builds up to more being deeply and applied in totality towards the end of the 3rd transfiguration initiation. So in other words, I wouldn't expect, unless somebody was in their later years and retired, children grown up and flown the nest, and things of that nature, meaning a more nucleus life, I would not expect the rod of initiation to be applied full force at the first birth initiation, unless that's what was happening in the person's life. Meaning people that are raising children, people with a lot of social ties, karmic narrative, the rod of initiation gets applied in stages and doesn't seem to come in full force until the end of the transfiguration initiation. So in other words, as you work through the rainbow bridge techniques, it shouldn't be a hard and fast rule that you would expect the full force of the rod of initiation to be applied at the first initiation. A little bit of it might be applied around the 2nd minor stage initiation, towards the end of the 3rd initiation, which is in totality the first birth initiation. The full impact of the rod initiation does not seem to come into play until the end of the 3rd transfiguration initiation sometimes. So again, in answer to the question over the rod of initiation being applied, again, same point I'm trying to get across with the initiatory experience itself. The best way I can describe it, the rod of initiation itself is applied in stages. I just wanted to see if there was anything else I wanted to mention on that. And like that, I've got a lot more I want to say. There was some excellent feedback over what I was saying about the third transfiguration initiation, also being known as the Aquarian initiation. So I'm going to be making another follow-up video over what's cropped up around people asking me around that language. You know, I'm trying to introduce new language for the third transfiguration initiation being called the Aquarian initiation, because we are and we have come into the Aquarian age. It's going to continue for the next 2,000 years. And even trying to rename our root race, either the Aquarian root race or the Aurorian root race. So like that, I won't open too many can of worms at once, but people who are in the know over older terminology would understand what I'm nudging at here with renaming the third transfiguration initiation, the Aquarian initiation, and even trying to attempt to rename a root race, so to speak, a collective root race development experience. So on that note, that's all I wanted to share today. So as always, I hope this video has been insightful. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's answered some other questions. Please do let me know. Please do give me feedback. I'm always very open to intelligent, respectful feedback. So please do let me know. And I hope to have this draft document published soon. So please do continue to enjoy the videos. And if there was something that caught your attention that you did have a question about, please do let me know. On that note, 7 ray blessings to all.